Medics will soon have another tool in their toolbox to help treat victims of gunshots. The FDA has now approved the first gel-based treatment that is designed to stop and control life-threatening bleeding in a matter of seconds.
That's right. Our 9 Health expert, Dr. Kohli, joins us with more information on Traumagel this morning. Good morning, Dr. Kohli.
Good morning, guys.
All right, so this is related to bleeding, and it's a huge problem, of course, and it's also preventable. Talk to us a little bit more about the impact.
Yeah, highly preventable. The Department of Defense tells us that 91% of battlefield traumas are due to hemorrhages, and they can be preventable. And if you look at overall trauma-related deaths, 40% of them are due to hemorrhage. So you're talking about a huge global impact on being able to stop hemorrhage very, very quickly. And you can think about the applications, obviously, in the battlefield, obviously trauma like a construction accident or a car accident. You can even think about gunshot wounds, so many different places where this could really save lives.
How does it work, the gel itself?
Yeah, so it's a plant and fungus, algae and fungus based gel that's derived from plants, and it kind of looks like hummus, and it comes in a syringe just as you see there, and it's injected into the wound, and it's for internal or external bleeding. It gets activated and makes basically a plug over the bleeding within less than 10 seconds, and it activates your body to make a clot underneath. And the good thing about this, as opposed to what we've been doing before, and when it comes to bleeding, we've been very old school, we pack the wound, right? How have we stopped bleeding in the past? We put pressure on it, we pack it, we take gauze after gauze, and then when you rip off the gauze, it rips off the clot underneath.
Wow, yeah.
This gel, on the other hand, when you rip it off, it doesn't disrupt the clot that your body has formed underneath. So really novel and really, really exciting.
So what is it about the gel that stops the bleeding inside?
It's so fascinating how they designed this. So it's a high viscosity gel. So the kind of the thickness and the consistency of it can stop high pressure bleeds. So if you think about cutting a vein, that's a low pressure bleed. It kind of oozes. If you think about cutting an artery, it squirts. That's a high pressure bleed, and that's one that can cause life-threatening bleeding very quickly. So that high viscosity nature allows that pressure to form without manual pressure, without you having to push on it. It's very flowable, which means it gets into nooks and crannies. So if you think about a gunshot wound in the past, the EMTs would actually have to pack it, put their hands in there, and if there's shards of bone or shrapnel or anything else in there, it could be really dangerous for them too. And they can't get everywhere, right? Because a gunshot wound is not clean. It's sort of dirty and messy. So this is very flowable, and it gets where it needs to get to and really packs that wound. And the last part of this is very adhesive. So it's really sticky. So it causes a really nice tight clot to form almost very, very quickly.
I mean, is this being used right now? I mean, is there a point in the future where people keep it at home? I mean, what is kind of the
I'm really excited about it. So it is being used in veterinary clinics.
Right.
In fact, over 10,000 veterinary clinics have already used it and shown a lot of really good data. And in animals, it's even harder to learn how to use it than it is in humans.
Right.
So the idea is later this year, it's going to be launched now that it's been cleared by the FDA, and then it would be commercially available for moderate to severe bleeding.
Right.
Now, they do have a mini version that you might want to keep at home that's for minor bleeding and minor cuts. And in fact, I don't know if you guys have heard of Dermabond, but it's like skin glue. That's really made its way into homes as well. We use it in the operating room all the time for kind of minor sutures and stuff. So it's almost like skin glue that super glues your skin together.
Oh, wow.
Keeps the bacteria out, prevents you from having to get a suture. So you can imagine your little kid bumps themselves on the playground, get a cut on their face.
Yeah.
Instead of those stitches, you can actually just put a little Dermabond or even some of this hemostatic gel.
And selfishly, somebody has to think about that. The scar is probably a lot less too.
It's much better because it opposes quite well, and you don't have to count on the person to actually bring the skin together. The skin will sort of naturally come together. So it really helps with bleeding and prevents you from your hands from stinging when you wash them.
Wow.
Because it covers up that wound right away.
That you had me at no pain. Let's do that. Well, I mean, not no pain, right? You did hurt yourself, but relatively
fascinating.
Pain,
Fascinating. It's one of the first things my husband looked into after we had our son. When we realized he's a little bit, we trip over our feet a lot.
That was me.
I mean, it's just amazing how much device technology has revolutionized medicine, and something like this, I think, is going to change the way we think about
saving so many lives. All right, Dr. Kohli, thank you. That was fascinating. Appreciate it.